Hi everybody, this is Palace of Forest. I'm Old John. Have you ever curious about why China did not become a Muslim country? Because Muslims started at 7th century and spread out very strongly in 13th, 14th century, almost blanket the whole world except the Christian world. What happened? Well, there is some encounters between China and Muslims. First of all is like the War of Taras in AD 751. It's in Tang dynasty. The general was Gao Xianzhi. He encountered the Arabian Empire, but was defeated. After that, both controlled themselves very well because the Arab country did not advance and did not spread out their religious belief, and China retreated from Central Asia. And that seems like an ending. But not really, because in Yuan dynasty, it was an event happened, and which is very critical. What happened in Yuan dynasty? Yuan dynasty was Mongolia race people ruling China. They started at 1279 to 1368. That was a very short dynasty, majorly because they gained their power at horseback, so they lose their power when they're trying to rule. They are nomad people, so they really don't know how to control a 3,000, 4,000 years civilization old race. In China, they only have 90 years. So we are talking about the Yuan dynasty. They had some fatal problems there. Number one is their succession system. In China, normally it's the oldest son from the first wife or legal wife, lawful wife, has this right to success, the throne. But Mongolia people have an election of the Han, is a coup. Coup is a method of select Han in Mongolian. The successors are not only on blood relations, it is also depending on prestige, talent, power, and the military achievement. So the competition was sharp every time, but it can be a very major instability of the empire. Number two is the Mongolian women. I think the empresses involved in politics with no hesitation, which is much more than Chinese women. They are prohibited participate in politics in ancient time. The third problem in Yuan dynasty is the influences between the Chinese and the Central Asian officers. Because the empire is a vast territories, and then when they conquered China, of course, the Chinese officers will also want to play some roles in the political system. But the Central Asian people also want to play a role in the political system in China. So the both groups always contract to each other and competing to each other. So the first emperor in China by Mongolian is called Kublai. Kublai Khan, he was the grandson of Genghis Khan. So he was in power in China. He's the first emperor, and he established the name Yuan dynasty. But he also tried to imitate China and have a crown prince, which he elected one of his sons to be the crown prince. But they died young. So after Kublai Khan died, the successor is his grandson, the third grandson, called Timur. Timur was the second emperor of Yuan dynasty. And his crown prince also died early. And so all the crown princes die early. It aroused me some kind of suspicions. Maybe the empresses of Mongolian, they are involved in some kind of conspiracies, either poison the young prince or give them some kind of drug, because those empresses are not the biological mother of those young crown princes. But this is just my suspicions. Okay, so Tamura's crown prince also died young, and then now immediately he has a successor's problem. Well, now the key players we are talking about in this situation is the Kubilay's grandson called Tamura, and the competitor of his throne is called Kulan Haisan. His nickname is Haisan. Tamura's second brother's son, his nephew. Haisan was a military general. He guarded the border and defeated some rebellions. He's stationed in border area also. Another competitor name is Alanda. He's Tamura's uncle's son, so actually it's his cousin. He commanded 150,000 military soldiers, and Alanda was a devoted Muslim. He grew up in a Muslim family. He could write Quran in Arabic language and pray devotedly daily. His 150,000 soldiers were devoted Muslim also, and his territory covered Shanxi, Ningxia, Xi'an, and Gansu. Those are northwest Chinese territory. Another player in this thing is the queen. The queen is a Puluhan. She's Tamura's wife. Puluhan preferred Alanda to be the future clan. Request Alanda enter in Beijing, the capital, all his 150,000 soldiers. Prime Minister Hala Hassan, he's not fond of Alanda. He thinks Haisan should be the future king. And he said, I'm sick. I'm not going to the court. So he made the government non-functional because he doesn't want to sign any paper. Another player is Haisan's younger brother called Bayantu. He has a name called Ayuli Balibata. He has a teacher, name is Li Meng. He is a Chinese, and he teaches Chinese to the young brother. So the situation is pretty bad right now because Tamura only be king 13 years. Now he's dead. And then Alanda already in Beijing with 150,000 Muslim soldiers. But Kalung, Haisan, and the younger brother, all out of Beijing. So the Prime Minister Hala Hansen called them, please come in, rush in to the capital, very urgent right now. And the younger brother arrived first. So he was not a military man and he has no government position. So he was very hesitant to take any action against Alanda. But the situation is pretty bad. So his teacher, Li Meng, said, you got to take some action. He was hesitant every day. Things become more and more urgent. Li Meng said, you got to take action. So he said, how about we call fortune teller to come in to get advice? So at this situation, a fortune teller called in to throw something on the ground to show it's a good or bad sign. I guess that time Li Meng told the fortune teller, you better have a good sign to show. Otherwise, we're all in trouble. Can you imagine that? So the fortune teller did get a good sign for the prediction. And then the younger brother said, fine, I will have action. So the action was taken on AD 1307, March the 2nd. March the 3rd, that's the day prior to the action taken, Alanda want to have a party for Ayuli Balipata. They answered to them, said, they told Alanda, listen, we have a letter here from the brother, which is Haisan, want to give to you. So you come to the palace to get the message. Alanda think, well, tomorrow it's going to be a big party. It doesn't matter. I come in there to see what they want to say. So he agreed. He went in the palace. But meanwhile, the military assassinators also entered the palace, and also Haisan's brother entered into the palace with his teacher, the Chinese teacher Li Meng. And then the prime minister get in the palace through another door. They are all there. They arrest Alanda immediately, and then later put him to death, to a death sentence. I don't know what happened to those Muslim soldiers, but I do know there are many Muslims in northwest China even now, in Shanxi, Ningxia, Xi'an, Gansu. It's about 13% of the populations. And Haisan come back to Beijing and become the Khan. He would give the throne to his brother Bayantu after his death. So that was the agreement he reached with his brother, because he did a lot for him, risk his life to have this coup d'etat, so-called. So China was immune from Muslim with a thin thread. That is all. How about that? Do you like it?
ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا